Can you hear me now? Okay. Check just control. Mute to share. Okay. So guys, so what we have seen here in the last class is like what is a computer language, which is the means of communicating with that, and how you will do that. You will be doing with a program. Program is nothing but set of instructions where we are going to write these instructions. Editor. And what is an instruction in the editor? It's an executable line. What you are going to write in the editor? An executable line. What is that executable line? Means it's a task oriented. There will be a task will be connected to that line. So that is what is called as executable line. So now these executable lines are called as, yes, statements. So there will be two types of statements. One is a single line statement and multi-line statement. And also like there are like non-executable statements will be there, right? Non-executable statements will be there in our program, in our editor. All the lines should be executable in the editor. If you get an editor like this, this is an editor part. What is this one is, this is the folder structure. This is the major advantage of the Python, where you will be having all the folder structures. When you write a program, you will be getting a, now you just see this. Now this is a folder structure what you have. Okay. So this folder structure is the one. Now the major advantage of, like, you know, whatever you are going to write it over here in the editor, okay, whatever you are going to write it in the editor, that should be executable as per the rules. But, and you know, while writing code also we have to follow some rules. You can't write as you like, so you have to follow that rules. This following the rules and writing the sentences is called as coding, guys. You have to follow some simple rules. Yeah, you have to follow some simple rules, and when you follow these rules and when you write the code, that is called as coding. That is what is programming. That's it. Follow some rules and write it. Only remembering those rules will be a bit difficult. But if you are not following the rules, these rules are called as syntax. In the technical terminology, they call it as syntax. If you are not following the rules, what happens? It will trigger an error, right? It will trigger an error. Now, and what is a non-executable statement? The statements which are, you know, will not be having any task. That is what is called as non-executable. Usually they use the non-executable statements for documentation purpose. When you want to do the documentation, we are going to use the non-executable statements. Okay. But the question is, who will know that which is executable or non-executable? Who will go and check it out whether we are doing the right syntax or not, right rules we are following or not? Who will do that? Huh? No, that is non-executable statements, right? We are going to keep the comments, right? If I want to write it something like this, this program is a sample program, first program of Python. Okay, I'm writing it over here. This is my first program. Okay. So this is my first program. I'm going to write it over here. This is my first program. Now this one will trigger an error. This will trigger an error. You see, this is my first program, is because we are not following the rules. Okay. Now what you have to do? Comment, right? You use the comment. That's what my question was. This we did. Who is saying that this is a mistake? Yes. Speak it out. Translator. Who is the translator? Computer. Who's that? Who said computer? You? Computer? Oh, how the computer will be translator? No. Compiler. Compiler or interpreter. No, what you said is the translator. Actually, I said you over here, I gave a small glance to you over here in the yesterday. If I want to communicate with you, what is the language I'm using? English. You know the English and I know the English, right? It is not a problem at all. Now, if you take it over here, this one, that I'm communicating with you all without any problem, you are doing it. What is this? I'm communicating with the computer over here, right? I'm computer. What language I'm using? Computer programming language. But when it comes to a person who is speaking only Japanese language, and I want to communicate over here in English. Now, the communicating with the person is very, very important for me. So what I will use it? I will use a translator, the person who will translate. In the same way over here, when I'm writing a code, usually I will write it in English like words. What the computer will understand? Will the computer will understand directly? No. Computer will understand a binary language. That is called as a low level language. And high level language means? Yeah, when you are using English like alphabets to write the code is called as high level language. And by this will understand the binary language. Binary language means zeros and ones. Now you are writing in English, which is a high level language, and the computer will understand what? Binary language. How it will happen in them? It's like I'm speaking in English, the person knows only Japanese. So we need a translator. Now this translator is called as a mediator, is called as a compiler or interpreter. Okay, compiler or interpreter, both will be doing the same stuff. Okay, but this compiler or interpreter will be doing two tasks. First one, it will translate the things and send it. Second is, before translating, it will check the errors. Before translating, it will check the errors. Remember that. Now, when someone is saying that I'm building up a language, I'm developing a language, or I'm creating a language, or the person who developed that, Guido van Rossum, he's developed the language. So what he developed actually? He developed the computer, he developed the editor, then what? What is that? Python what? What is Python in this? Now we are doing the Python. Have you seen it? Okay. You downloaded the Python. Yes. You executed the program yesterday. Now what is the Python in that? You did it, right? Yes or no? You didn't do it? Madam, you did it? Everyone did it? What is the Python in that? What is that Python in that? What is the programming language in that? Editor? No. But when you downloaded, what you downloaded? Verification software. Verification software. I didn't get it. Software application. Application. Python is used to develop the application. Okay. What is that? The interpreter or the compiler. When someone is saying that I'm developing a programming language, or when you are downloading, you are not downloading anything, but the interpreter or the compiler you are downloading. That plays a very important role of rectifying your errors, identifying your errors, and execute the task. It will translate the things to the computer and computer will be. So when a person is saying that he developed the language, means that is nothing but either he developed the compiler or he developed the interpreter. Remember that. Okay. Now, so these languages, whatever is there, this is the languages which we talked about yesterday, is called as high level language. Okay. Now the languages are broadly classified into 5 categories. Okay. 5 generations they will call it as. Broadly, very broadly classified in 2 types. One is low level language and high level language. But if you are going to go with the generations, they are classified into 5 generations. One is called as, binary language, which is a first generation one, where you use the zeros and one. Second one is called as second generation one, where it is called as assembly language. Okay, these two are comes under the low level languages. Now the third generation is nothing but the Java, C++, C, Python 2.x. All this comes under the third generation. Now what is the fourth generation? Third generation is like, you will be writing with the English like words. Completely you will use the English like words and you will write the code. Now what is the fourth generation one? When you talk about the fourth generation one, you will use the English like sentences. You will use the English like sentences, not the words, sentence, complete sentence. The best example is if you know the SQL. SQL is a one where you use the complete sentence. Okay, create a table. Create a table. That is what you will write over there. I'm talking about create a table. So the same thing you will be doing it over there. Okay. The next one is, yeah, just update it. Update the table or insert into the table. That is what you will write the SQL. Now the Python 4 3.x is there, right? The same way you are going to write it. 3.x, not 2.x, 3.x. It will be very, very flexible. Python 3.x is really very flexible. And this comes under the fourth generation language. What is the fifth generation language? Is nothing but, you no need to write it. There's no languages existing yet, but still they are in the trial. All you have to say is say the task and it will write the program. No need to write it. Okay. Then again, saying the task should be very much precisely done. Okay. This is what is actually the 5 generations of the language. So the first generation will be, actually understood by the computers, which is called as binary language. Okay. And, and then rest of all, like we developed it based on our comfort, because the first generation, we could not write the code in zeros and ones. We developed them as per our requirement. Okay? Clear? Now, this is what is quickly about all the fundamentals what you required, guys. Any questions you have it? I told you like how the Python will work. So in Python, or quickly recapping, in Python, whenever you are using a value means usually there will be 3 types, but we will take only 2. One is called as numerical and character type, right? This is like numerical and character. Whenever you are using a value that directly occupies the memory, no doubt about that, it will occupy the memory. So how to know that whether it is occupy the memory or not? How to know that whether it's occupy the memory or not? ID function. What is the ID function will do? Address. Good. It will give the address. Now, how to know that what type of data is stored in the memory? Type function. What the type function will do? What the type function will do? It tells the type of data. The term is called as data type. Okay, data type, guys. Now, this is all about like these are the different functions we were seeing in the last class. This type. Let me see if they are asking some. So now let's quickly go through the like history of the Python, guys. Just I want to go through, especially I want to let you know why we are coming, why we are learning the 3.x, and what is the advantage of 3.x. That is the reason what we are going to do. See, actually the Python is majorly it was initially developed in the year 1989, like around 30 years back. 30 years back, Python came into the existence. The first version of the Python was beta version I'm talking about. Beta version was released in 1989, and this is a high level language. Remember that. This is the high level language. That is, you will use the English like words to write the code. Okay. Now, who developed this one? A person called as Guido van Rossum. So the Python came into the existence in 1989 beta version. Okay. And the person name is Udo van Rossum. And he is from Netherlands. He is from Netherlands. He was a mathematician and a computer scientist, and he graduated from the University of Amsterdam in the year 1982. 82, something like that, 82, 83 time he was graduated, early 1980s. And then he got a job in the National University of Netherlands. Okay, there was a research university that in that he got a job in the National Research University of Netherlands initially. Initially, he got the job in that. And that time, the time when this school, like he was there, when he joined the Netherlands, Netherlands is a very small country. Very, very small country. And this country, the capital is Amsterdam. Amsterdam. And this person went into the research institute of, got a job in the research institute of Netherlands. And he was a part of a branch called as CWI. Now, there is a Netherlands name is there, this one. It is in the Dutch language. So the purpose of CWI was to develop the computer programming language. They were developing the computer programming language. Actually, that time in 80s, it was a trend that all the rich countries like Western countries, they were investing a lot and lot in the computers, especially developing the language and all those things. Like US was already having some good languages. They came up with the C, C++. UK was having some languages. So these people were also wanted to have their own language. So they started developing a language called as ABC. Itself is ABC, the language name. Okay, ABC language was the one which was developed. And this language was actually developed based on the existing languages features, like whatever the languages was existing at the time, those languages special features were taken and this was developed. And some of the features were majorly influenced by set language. There was a set language was there, set language, and this was a part of this language was from the US, set language, set-L they will say, set-L. So this was specially used for the set. If you know, someone knows the Python sets, it was majorly based on the sets, Python sets. The structure was something like that. Now there was one more language called Algo, I think so. Algo language was there, and this was an algorithmic language. These two were the languages which was specially for the, one is for the set language, second was the Algo. And based on these two languages, the ABC language was developed. And it was also extracted some of the features like functions from C. Functions from C, and concept from C++. And modularization, mod 1 and module 1. The language was there, module 1, module 2, module 3. So they were using this one. So based on these features, apart from these features, the major was influenced by set and Algol. And they were developing the things, and the Udo van Rossum was a part of this team. He was a part, he was a very much junior guy. He was a part. And after 3-4 years, what he observed is there was a drastic mistake was happening with the ABC. Even though they are acquiring the language from the different known ones, but still there was a drastic mistake was happening in that, which was a problem. So he raised that point with the people, the higher people will be there, right? The research. Then he went and raised them. They ignored him. Usually it will happen when the junior level person comes and raises it. So the senior person ignores him. You don't have so much of experience, just get out. So the same thing happened. He was feeling that one, like there was a mistake was happening in that. So what he did, rectifying all these mistakes, whatever the ABC was doing, rectifying all these mistakes, he was building up a small language of its own. That is, he was building his own language. He was spending like every year ending when there will be a series of holidays, right? Christmas holidays and New Year. That time he was spending a lot and he was developing. In a due course of like, 2 to 3 years, he was having a small language of its own with all the, it's in other words, the interpreter or the compiler he developed. Then what he did it in 1989, he passed on this language to his friends. His circle will be there. Just pass it on and say that, just check it out. I developed this language. Is there any problem with that? So these people started, whenever they have the time, they were looking at this language and they were coming up and saying what are the problems, and the problems were rectified. This went on for 2 years, guys. And during this process, they have to communicate, right? They have to communicate. Now, I have to communicate with the management of the like Naresh IT, that this batch. Now, what I will give a name to this, right? 930 DS batch is there, data science batch. Like that, in order to communicate within them, they want to have a name to this project. Whatever they are doing the language, they want to have a name. So at that time, at the time of when he was doing, his favorite program was a comedy program was called as, Python's, like, Monty Python show. There was a group of people were there. Yeah, that's actually comedian. It's a comedy. It is the name of the show was Circus. Okay. The name of the head of the guy was Monty, and he was having a team of 4 or 5 people. These all people were called as Monty's Python. These people were called as, group is called as Monty's Python. So they were doing the different shows, which was very, very popular. Okay. So what happened? He was a big fan of them. And these people, whoever the 5 people were there, they are called as Pythons. Okay. So these people, this group was a favorite to the Guido van Rossum. So they want to keep up a name. Just out of the box. He said that, okay, let's go with the Python. So it's not related to the snake. Nowhere it is related. Because of these comedians, they call this one as the Python. And they wanted to later on replace this one with a proper name, after once they're releasing it. But they were so much used to this name, they went on with the same name into the market. And this was happened in 1991. The first version was released in 1991. And any programming language, if you take it, any programming language with the maximum updates, it can survive for 3 to 4 decades. That is 30 to 40 years, not more than that. Any programming language, when we say with the updates constantly, if you are doing it, it can survive it for 3 to 4 decades, not more than that. So these people released in 1991, which was 4 years early than the Java. And when he released it, he released as a scripting language. So what is the scripting language? Again, the question will come up. So at that time in 1991, there was one thing was very much booming. What is that? Was internet. It was just started. And people were seeing that this is the future. So they were developing the application based on the internet. So for internet, now the simple here. For the internet, you should have whenever you develop an application, you will be having a light-weighted language over there. You can't give it a complete language over there. Now, complete language and the scripting language difference is, complete language, you can develop the desktop applications, you can develop the web applications, you can develop the network applications, all these things you can do it with a full-fledged language. But when you talk about the scripting language, you can develop only the web-based applications. It is a lightweight, very much lightweight language. Now, why they have to use the lightweight means, now just imagine you are just opening the one page, you are opening the Amazon, another page you are opening the Flipkart. And Flipkart is using the full-fledged language and Amazon is using the lightweight language, okay, scripting language. Now, obviously, the lightweight language will be loading up very fast. And this will take a lot of time to load. So which one you will go with? Amazon. You will close that one and you will start shopping with Amazon. What will happen? The customers will be dissatisfied and they will be running away. So the Guido was concentrating majorly on scripting language, which is a lightweight language. Now, when this, he was 1991, 92, 93, 94, he released the, new updates. New updates were released. When it came to the 1995, the Java came into the existence. And when the Java was released in 1995 by the Sun Microsystems, it was an instant hit, big hit it was. Why it was hit means it is not that it is really very powerful, which is not there in the Python. It's not like that, because the marketing strategy, right? The time when the Java was developing, it is a powerful language. No doubt it was a powerful language, and it was a full-fledged language. Okay, full-fledged language means develop all the different applications. But the major advantage was it was supported by IBM and Oracle. There were two giants at the time. They were supporting the Sun Microsystems to develop this language. Once they developed, they started giving the statements, Oracle and IBM, that we are using the Java in our applications. So obviously, when the people like IBM and Oracle are using that, other people will be running behind them. So in that way, it became an instant hit. Of course, later on, it became a very powerful language, that is secondary. But that was lacking with the Python. Python was not having some big hand or big company behind them. These were the small people, they were doing it, they were giving the presentations, and slowly they started developing. In 2000, okay, if you take it in 2000, these Python people, they want to transform from the scripting language to the full-fledged language. Okay, they want to transform from the scripting language to full-fledged language. So though they released a new version, altogether new version of that, called as Py2k. This is called as Py2k, that is Python 2000. That is a millennium version. So from here on, till that time, the version was 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. From 2000, the versions was 2.0, 2.1, 2.3, 2.4, something like that. So these versions were called as Python 2.x. Now this is Python 2.x because x is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now this Python 2.x, what it was a full-fledged language. It was a full-fledged language, and by that time, the Java was far, far, far ahead compared to that of Python. Nowhere. It is nowhere near to that of Java. Java was, they were saying that 70% of the applications were running on Java in that early 2000. Early 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 70% of the applications were running on the Java. So you can see that how powerful it is. Now the Python was just transformed they were having their own customers, small amount of customers, but they are having. But that was 1 or 2% only. 1 or 2% of the customers the Python were having. The Java was having the 70% of the market share in the software field. All the applications were running. Now in 2005, guys, something drastic happened over here. What happened was, now as I told you, behind the Java success was Oracle and IBM. And because these were the giants which they were using it, so all the rest of other people were running behind them. They are running behind them and they were applying this Java. Again, it's a free of cost. There's nothing it has to pay, nothing is there. It's a free of cost. Of course, the Python was also a free of cost, open source. It's free of freeware, open source, and all these things. But the Java, what happened was in 2005, first time Oracle people approached the Sun Microsystems to acquire the Java. That means they want to buy the Java. They went and approached the Sun Microsystems to buy the Java. And at that time, like as I said it, like 70% of the share was with the Java. All the applications were running. Now, in 2005, the that is Python X was having only 4% of the share. Developed from the 1% to 4%. And this 4% was like 3 million applications were there. 4% is 3 million. 1 million is 10 lakhs. That is 30 lakh applications were running, which is called as 4%. Then what is 70%? It's a very huge number. Very, very huge number. So when this Oracle approached the Sun Microsystem, that was a triggering point for the rest of the IT chains who was completely reliable on the Java. Like by the time Google came into the existence and IBM was completely dependent on this one. Deloitte was dependent on this one. These are the big chains which they were really shocked. Once the Oracle buys it, they will keep up the license also. A simple license, if they keep it, they will earn billions and billions of dollars. So immediate now, the Google, if you take it, Google was given the search engine, which was 100% free of cost. They were not having an initial revenue. So they were completely reliable on the Java only. So this was a triggering point. Then the Google, not the IBM, the Google, what it did, they took an initiation and started searching for the another alternative programming language, which is equally powerful that as Java. Now, this is the second time the Google has doing it. The previously also they did it something like this, I will tell you. So these people, they approached the Guido and said that what the changes they have to do it in the Python. Because before that, the Python was not well organized. It was completely blended. Like it was having a good things, like, but there was the syntax was a problem. There are multiple syntax where multiple functions were there for a one single task. It was not so organized. So these people approached it, the Google people approached, and they invited the Python people to come and start working with the Google people from their office. Because till that time, the Python was not having its own office or something like that in Amsterdam. So they invited them to come down and start working with the Google office. Then first time the Python people started sitting with the Google people and they started doing the changes in the Python application. Now here the Python took the risk of their life. What is that risk is? In 2008, they released a altogether new version called as Python 3.x. Python 3, 2008, 2005, they mixed up with the Google people and they started developing. Okay, they started developing. And when it came back to the 2008, they came up with a altogether new version called as Python 3.x. Now, that is not the risk. Everyone can release it. But the risk factor is this 3.x is not supported the previous version of the Python. That is called as, it is not backward compatible. The term is called as backward compatible. This backward compatibility is a feature. Now, what is the backward compatibility is a feature is when you release a new version. Now, always you see that the new updates are coming, right? What is this new updates are coming? This is nothing but whatever the previous version, previous approach is there. For that, you are adding some new features. Now, previous, if there is anything is there, they will delete it? No, they will never delete it. Remember this, because they want now, if think that you are starting a application today, this year, and in 2021, you got the 1,000 users for that. You have some old features. These people were building up using the old features. Now in 2022, you build up the new version of this, an upgraded version. Now, when the upgraded version you are releasing, that should support all the features of the previous version. Remember that. all the features of the previous version, it has to support it. Then it is called as backward compatibility. Now, if you are not supporting it, what will happen? All these people will run away, 1,000 people. Now, you don't know that whether you will get it 1,000 or 2,000 next new version, but all the previous version people will run because they will not trust you. Okay, then next time when you are going again, you are repeating the same, then your program will be a complete flop. So always the software people make sure that the backward, the new version will be supporting the previous versions. That is what is called as backward compatible. Okay, backward compatible. Now, here when these people release this 3.x, which they were having 3 to 4 million applications. Okay, when they were having 3 to 4 million applications, these 3 to 4 million application people, what they said is your 3.x, whatever you have it, will never support your previous version. What happened to that 4 million people? So they will be 4 million customers, they will be losing it. But what they did it is to confirm them, to satisfy them. They said that from this 2008, they are going to have a new version 3.x, and also the previous version, whatever is there, you will be having the same updates done. Both. So 3.x will be having some updates, the same updates will be done in 2.x also. This support, no one will do that. Previous version, no one will do that. But these people did it to retain their 4 million customers. And they said that this support will be given for you for next 12 years. That is till 2020. And they gave it the last version, what 2.x was, 2.7 it was. 2.7, and they started giving 2.7.1, 2.7.2, like that they started giving it. Now this came down to 2.7.18 or 17. They stopped it in 2020, and they gave this 20 years, like 12 years time to transform all your applications from the 2.x to 3.x. And all the people did it. And looking at the features and the support and the power of the Python, the rest of other programming people also, other language, they transformed into Python. And today, Python is holding a market share of 24%. From 4%, they came down to 24%. And Java is holding 26%. Still, it is ahead. But what is that? It is in the decline stage. From the 60 to 70%, it came down to 24, 26%. And Python from the 4%, it is going down. Now, what is that? It made the people run away behind the Python. First thing is simplicity. It is very, very simple. It's damn simple, very easy. One line. Because in Java, if you take it, it is an OOPS oriented. 100% you have to write, you have to do it with the OOPS. You have to declare a class, you have to declare all these things. But in Python, no, it is not. Simply if you want to print it. For if you do that Java, I will show you also. I don't have the Java software. Let's see that if I can find any online editor. So you will be seeing that 5 to 6 lines you have to write it. And the complexity will be too high, guys. I'm not saying that it is not powerful. It is really very powerful. Still, it is very powerful. Java is really powerful. And if you ask me, what is that? Who is holding the Java now? Oracle. Now, these people has completely transformed the Python 2.x architecture to 3.x. Completely. Previously, it was having an old traditional programming language architecture. Now it was completely built with a class and object architecture. That is the reason why whenever you use the type function will give us data type. If you check it out any other program, it will say that integer, string or something. But this will say that class int and class string. That means to say that it is having a class and the variable what you are giving is an object of that particular class. Okay, that is what it will say it as. Okay, that is a concept of the OOPs. We will see it in the OOPs, not to worry about. So very detailedly we are going to see that one. Okay, so that is the beauty. So now you may ask me a question over here. Why can't the Python people did this? They would have done, sorry, Java people do this, because it is not so easy. Because Java was having a humongous, like very huge amount of customers they were having. Now they can't afford to take such a risk of changing the whole architecture. Now, why we have to change a small architecture means, just imagine. Now you are having a house, guys. Just imagine this is like you are having a small house over here. Okay, this is a house which is given by your grandfather, and you love your grandparents a lot. And you kept it like this. In a due course of, like, it was built in 80s. Okay, in 2000 or 2005 or something like that, you got some money, and what you did it, you built up an building over here, and keeping the basement same, because that your grandparents stayed. As a sentiment, you kept the fundamental foundations, the ground floor, you kept the same, and you added 2 floors. And in a due course of time, you got some more money, and then again you want to add it. Okay, then you added up over here some more floors. Okay, and again, being a sentiment, you kept the same over here. Just we have to respect the sentiment. So then how much floors it will go? Now in like 10 years or so, 2015, this turned out to be a very prime location beside the highway. Now you want to put more, you want to make a skyscraper. Can you make it? Why? Basement is a problem. The same thing happened. The Python was updating, giving the update, 1 floor after 1 floor. It was okay. For some extent, it is okay. After that, it will not take it, because there is a chance that your application may slow down or your system may get crashed. So what they did it is, even though it is very much sentimentally attached, they demolished completely, and they took a very beautiful architecture, and they built a very skyscraper of 20 floors. That is what the Google people did it. They demolished the complete Python architecture. They built from the scratch. And this was the futuristic language, not the current solution. This was the futuristic language. And starting, I told you, any programming language, if you take it, the life of the programming language will be 3 to 4 decades. Now, this was released in 2010, if you take it. 4 decades means 2050. Now, 3 decades also 2040. Till 2040, it will be running with the current updates. Now, as of now, no language is nearby the Python. It's not that I'm saying, again, I'm saying it's because I'm a Python guy, I'm not saying it. Because the power of the Python is like that, I became a Python. I was a Java. Okay, then I moved on to Python because the flexibility and the future of the Python is so much. Now, why we have to learn the Python? Now, next question comes over here. Whereas the other program, there are some languages are there which are rapidly moving up, called as Julia. Julia, Julia. Now, this is again a beautiful language which is based on the somewhat similar structure of that of Python. And the advantage of this, or the sentiment of this is one of the few of the Indians developed this. I told you in the last classes, I guess. And there is a Rust, R-U-S-T, one more language which is evolving. And of course, the R is there. R is again specially used for AI purpose. Now, what is the advantage of the Python is? First thing is, Python is a general purpose programming language. Now, what is the general purpose programming language? Haji, Balaji, general purpose programming. Amit, na? Aditya, Balaji, your name is Balaji. Follow. What is general purpose programming language? Anyone? Class attend कर लिए वहाँ पे? खत्म भी हो गया आपका वहाँ पाइथन का? इससे पहले आप लोगों का खत्म हुआ ना, आपका शुरू हुआ, वहां पर नहीं किया। अच्छा, एनीवन? What do you mean by that? What you said is correct, but what is exactly you are saying? So you can develop the different applications in using the Python. Learning the one Python, that's what I was saying. It learning the Python is very important. All the time I will say it. Learning the one Python, that is, there will be, if you divide, I divide it. Now some people say that I will not divide it. I will divide it, the Python, into 3 parts. One is the basic Python, which is very important to understand the basics of the Python. Second one called as a core Python, where you will learn the actual programming over there. Actual programming you will be learning. Then there is an advanced Python. Advanced Python is whatever you are going to learn in the core Python, you will be doing an enhancement in that. Enhancement to run for a longer, for a building a bigger applications. That is not difficult again. Advanced Python is not difficult. Real core will be the major important. Advanced is very simple. If you understand, it will be very simple. Again, if you don't understand, it will be like a hell. So advanced is, now when you know this part, you can build any application. You can build the web application, web-based application. And you know, after knowing this, you will be something like this. I will give you. You will be somewhere over here. It is like a crossroad. Now it's up to you that where you want to go. After learning the Python, it's up to you that where you want to go. You can choose your career. Now, if you want to go to the AI, now what we are doing, you will be learning something like NumPy, Pandas, machine learning, and statistics and deep learning, and you will be going. But Python is same. Not complete advanced Python is not required. Till oops, it is enough for us. Now, if you want to go to them like automation testing, learn Selenium over here. That's it. And you will become an automation tester. This will not take more than 15-20 days. No, you want to go to the web development. Go to the relevant software like Django and Flask. All these things you will learn, you will become. In the same way, you can choose your career after doing. And suppose you went to the automation tester. Now there is a limitation will be there for the testers. Now you want to move on to the data science. You already done the halfway. Here you are. Take a diversion. That's it. Any given point of time, you can move on to the different one. No problem at all. That is the advantage. Now, using the Python, you can, once you learn the same Python, guys, you can build the web applications, network applications, and gaming applications, AI applications, mobile applications, all these things. Now, even though if I say that myself as a data scientist, tomorrow I want to learn, I want to do some deployment, okay, on the web base. I will learn the Django. How much time it will take for me? 15 days maximum. I can start writing the code in the Django using the 7 days only. Because I know Python. Everything will be related to Python. That is what it happens. So that is the advantage of this. Now you may say that this is the only language which is giving us that flexibility. No. There is C++ is there, Java is there. They are all equally powerful. That's what I was saying. But the writing the code is very difficult. Now, previously, the people were scared of going to the coding. If you remember that, they were saying that, okay, coding is not my cup of tea because it's very difficult. Because the syntax was very difficult. Syntax means rules. Writing of rules was very difficult in Java. But when it came to the Python, it was very much relaxed. They removed all the complexity. They removed all the complex words or the syntax. So they made it very easy. As you speak it, you can write it. There's nothing different it is. And because of this, the people started loving it and the people wanted to move with this. And at the same time, this is very powerful. It's very simple and very powerful. So everyone can learn it. The people who are so claiming that, okay, I'm not from the programming background, I never touched the programming. Forget about that. It's not, again, rocket. It's not a rocket science, guys. Only thing is that that hype was created like programming is very, very difficult. It is not so difficult. You already done like 16, 18 years of study. That shows that you are intelligent. Only thing is that spend some time and you will get it. Learn simple syntax and you will get it. Okay. So one of the major advantages, it is a general purpose programming language. Second one is it is a high level programming language. What is a high level programming language? I told you just now. The languages will be broadly classified into two types, high level and low level. Low level means the binary and assembly language comes into the category, first and second generation. The high level means you will be using the English-like words. You will be using the English-like words. Okay. And this comes, the Python is an high level programming language. So, you know, you can just write it with the English words. It's no need to learn your binary language and do something. Okay. This is the second major advantage. Now, other programming languages are the same. The third one is, it is a OOPS-oriented language, object-oriented language. So I will write it down. What is the major advantages? Meanwhile, think that what is OOPS and tell me. Okay, first one, then high-level programming language. Third advantage, object-oriented programming language. And fifth one is interpreted language. And sixth one is, fifth one is dynamically typed. What is object? I asked a question. Give me the answer, then I will say you the answer. What is OOPS-oriented programming language?
Object-oriented programming language, because everything is regarding objects and classes.
What is that? I asked what is that? If someone asked you, you will say that it is written in objects, classes, and objects.
Encapsulation, inheritance.
That is the features. Yeah, Haji. Oops. Haji, Balaji. Ashok. Anyone? Want to try?
I have no more concept about programming background, but according to my view, OOPS is a rule of the to abide or follow the application of the military.
Yeah, it's maybe partially correct. See, simple guys. Now, if I check it out, all the people, right? Now, everyone will be having your Haji, దొరికిందా ఏదో వెతుకుతున్నట్టు ఏదో చెప్తామో అని చూస్తున్నాను. So OOPS is now, if I check it out, all your handwriting guys, they are different, right? Everyone is having a different. So in the same way, when you write a coding, there will be different styles here. Different styles means not the font. Is not the font. It is the way of writing the code will be different. That is different style of writing the code. Now, the OOPS is one of the style of writing the code. That's it. Now, what is said is like it is a different rules. So, OOPS is a different style of writing the code. Now, this style of writing the code, right? When you call it, usually whenever the fresher comes, I ask this question, like, what is OOPS? Is it a language? No, they will say, some of them say yes. Some of them, they don't know. and they will give that like non-relevant. I'm not asking the what are the features of the OOPS. I'm asking what is exactly the OOPS. OOPS is a paradigm. The term is called as paradigm. Now the term paradigm means style of writing the code is called as paradigm. Okay. Now OOPS is a paradigm, guys. Now let me do this. Paradigm. Okay. What is this? Paradigm means style of writing the code is called as paradigm. Okay. Now, when you are talking about the OOPS paradigm, okay. Now, is this the only? No. This is one among the, of course, this is one among the best ones, guys. No doubt about this. This is one of the best. Now, when it came into the existence, you know that it was in 1960. In 1960, it came into the existence. These OOPS came into the existence in 1960. Okay, and when it came into the what is the scenario? What is the event on which it came down? Is there was a very famous conference which happened called as Dartmouth Conference. And this Dartmouth is not a name, it is a name of the college. And this was a part of MIT, Massachusetts University of Institute of Technology. Okay, this one conducted a 5 years series of conferences. In 1956 to 1960, they conducted the series of conferences. These conferences were called as Dartmouth conferences. And you know, in 1950, how important it is, 56, this is where the first time the word AI was used. The person name was John McCarthy. He was the one who used the name called as AI, artificial intelligence. First time he coined the term called as AI, artificial intelligence, in 1956. And in 1959, a gentleman by the name Arthur Samuel used the word called as ML, that is machine learning. Now here again, the same Dartmouth conference, this came down. And looking at the term which was used and the way it was explained by the gentleman called as John McCarthy, so a group of people started developing a altogether new programming style that is called as OOPS, and which was introduced in the year was 1960. 1960. Now the reason why the OOPS came into the existence was because of the 1956 conference which was addressed by John McCarthy. Okay. Now this is, now it's almost like almost like 60, 61, 62 years. Still, it is one of the most powerful way of paradigm in the world. What is writing as of now? Now, what are the other paradigms what we have? So there is one is called as procedural. Functional. What is functional? But then why there is a different name? So if without functions, you will not write the procedure. Now whatever I wrote, it is without functions, right? Yes. Then functions itself is a style of writing the code. It's very powerful again. And you know, there is something called as modular. Modular paradigm. Next one is called as OOPS, guys. Now you know what is OOPS now. Okay. Now next one is called as logical. Okay. Now, till now, whatever I showed you, now we routed some few lines of the code, right? The sentences, statements. That is the procedure. It will be a top-down approach. How you read your book, how you write it, the same way you will write the code. Start from the left, go towards the right, end, come down. Start from the left, go to the right, end, come down. Something like that you will be doing. This is called as procedural. Okay, there is something called as functional. Now, what is a functional is, anyone? In out. ఎక్కడో కదా చేసావు కూడా ఇవన్నీ కోడ్ రాస్తందుకే ఎక్కడో చేశాను అంటారు కానీ వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ యూ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఇస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ దట్
code reusability. Code redundancy can be avoided.
It's not, it didn't took the patentship, right? Oops didn't took the patentship. Actually, oops is based on the functions, guys. If you know it or not, usually we will not use the functions in our real-time program, but functions will definitely help you to enhance your coding skills. Definitely it will help you to enhance. Usually the people will ignore it, but that is really very powerful. Very, very powerful. If you know the functions perfectly, you can do the modular. What is modularization? Now you are saying that code reusability, right? Huh? What do you mean by that?
If you use the same code multiple times in the program.
Okay, in the same program, right? That is not an effective way of reusability. Mere use చేసేముంది mere రాసి నేను యూజ్ చేయాలి. That is what is the real code reusability. That can be achieved by modularization. What you said is correct. I'm not saying that what you said is wrong. Now you wrote a code. Suppose now you are having 1,000 lines of the code, guys. Just imagine this is my 1,000 lines of the code. This is my 1,000 lines of the code. Now in this, there are around 10 lines of the code. We are repeating it 20 times. So 1,000 low, how many lines are repeated? 200 lines are repeated. Now, what is the disadvantage of this? First thing, I'm wasting my resource. The person who is writing is repeatedly writing the same code. First thing. Yeah, memory wastage. Okay, memory wastage. My other resource is my interpreter will be wasted. Now, what is the purpose of the interpreter? I said it, dual role it will be there. What is that? One, it will convert the code to the binary. Second one is it will check the errors. So these 200 lines, they are same lines, but interpreter doesn't know that. And it will go on checking these 200 lines 200 times. So obviously, even though it is taking a nanoseconds or the microseconds, it is wasting its time. You are wasting your resource time. That will affect a lot, guys. Application, that will affect a lot when you're building up an application. Now, third disadvantage is, suppose this 10 lines is there. How many times it is repeated? 20 times. I want to add one more line into that. That is 11 lines. How many places I have to add? How many places? 20 places I have to add. So it will become 11 lines. 20 places I have to add. Now while entering it, now adding a new line into the existing line or adding a new feature to the existing feature is called as enhancement. Again, it's a very big term, a simple for upgradation. Okay, in the programming terminology, they call it as enhancement. I'm enhancing the code, they will say. That is nothing but they are giving some extra features to the code. Okay? Yeah. Okay, that is extra features we are adding it. When we adding extra features to the existing code, that is called as an enhancement. Now enhancement will be difficult, right? Because you have to go to the 20 different places and you have to change it. Now the third important point, or fourth, I don't know, what is the number? The fourth is, if I'm entering some change in that line, I made a mistake. Now, how many places I have to go and change it? 20 different places I have to go and change it. Now, removing the error is there, that is a mistake. If I want to remove it, that is called as debugging. The term is called as debugging. In the technical terminology, they call it as debugging. But debug, remove it. Duplicate, deduplicate. Duplicate means, deduplicate means you are removing the duplicates. Okay. Debugging means removing the bug. So again, you have to go to the 20 different places and you have to remove it. Right? Every time you have to do that. So that is the real problem. So what we will do it is, now these 10 lines, whatever the 20 lines, 10 lines which are repeated, I will get it and put it over here at the top. Okay, this is at the top. I have drawn this 10 lines at the top. And then how many times I am writing? Only once I am writing over here. And then how many times I will be using? 20 times I will be using it. So how many times I have to write the code? Only once. How many times if I want to enhance? How many times I have to write? Only once. If I want to do the debugging, how many times? Only once. And but how many times I can use it? N number of times. Okay, N number of times I can use it. This is what is said is correct. This is an, reusability. This is an effective way of doing the reusability. Definitely it is an effective way of doing the reusability. Now, this code, we will be using it N number of times. I will give a name to this code. I will give a name to this code, any name. I will give it as ABC or function or something like that. I will give it the name as function 1. I will call over here function 1 of function 1 of. So here, from here it will go it, here it is going. Now this part where we are writing the code, the logic repeated, that is called as definition. That is called as definition. And this part from where I am doing, this is a calling part. So there will be two parts will be there in the functions. One is the definition part and the calling part. But the problem over here is, now that's what I said. If you write it, now, if you are cooking yourself and you are eating yourself and you are saying that it is very good, what is the point? You should give to me and I will eat and I should say that it is good enough, right? Then that makes sense. Obviously, if you cook means it will be good only for yourself. So in the same way, when you are using a code, you are keeping a code and you are using it. What is the reusability? Of course, there is reusability, but that is very less. But actual reusability is over here. This code, what is this code? This code is there. This code, I will not put it over here. I will take another program over here. Okay. This program, I will put this code, guys. For the repeated code, this program, I will put it. Now, from here, I'm going to call this one. Now, what is the advantage of this? Now, your code, you are putting in the other one. So, now here there is a team members will be there. Okay, there will be team members. Now, this is my team member. This is my team member. They also can use this code. Only the function, again, the same function. You are taping the repeated code, the definition part, and putting in the another file, and you are calling that one wherever you want it. The advantage of this one, any number of people can use it. Now, without this concept is called as modularization. Okay, this concept is called as modularization. Without modularization, you can't implement the project. Forget about that. Without modularization, you can't implement the project. And even though if you know the oops, if you want to know the oops, what are the things you have to know? Classes and the objects. But what is a class? Class will have the function only.
Yes, sir.
When you take the function and you put it in the class, that is called as a method. So if you know the functions, then you can play with the oops. And oops is also, again, it is very, very effective when you apply the modularization. Otherwise, no. Again, it is like kind of a bit lacking over there. So use the modularization with the oops and the function will be a real effective one.
Sir, అంటే ఇక్కడ only one person not sir program రాసి code generate చేశాడు. అయితే next time అతను మీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. సేమ్ ఇట్లా కాపీ చేసుకుంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్ అయిపోతుంది సార్ అక్కడ.
కాపీ ఎందుకు చేస్తాం?
అంటే మీరు ఇక్కడ నుంచి అక్కడికి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అంటే
ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అంటే నేను కాల్ అంటున్నా నేను.
కాల్.
You will be calling the existing code. You will not copy it. You will not copy. Sometimes you will don't know that how to copy also. That will be strictly restricted.
Yes.
Only thing you can use that code. That's it. You will just call them. That's it. When you call them, you will get that code features and you can use it. That is what is called as modularization. You will never copy the code. Okay. This code will never be copied. No, this will be here only. You will be calling this one over here. From here, you will be calling it. That is a concept of modularization. Completed modularization? Good. That is really nice. Okay. And modularization will be very, very effective. Sorry, when you use the oops with the modularization, that will be really effective. Now, this one, the next paradigm is, what is that we are having? Oops. I said you, oops is having a major concept. It is altogether a new structure, guys. There will be a class. Based on the class, you are going to create the objects. Okay, it's an extra level. Now, it will do based on two concepts, the oops is standing. One is called as security. Second one is called as reusability. Now, reusability is implemented in the oops by oops हो गया भाई, ऐसा मत देखो यार. oops. How you implement the reusability in the oops?
Inheritance.
Yeah, inheritance and or encapsulation or abstraction. Right? Only inheritance and polymorphism is used to implement the reusability. Now the security is implemented by using abstraction and encapsulation. Both will be used for the security level, but there is a slight difference will be there, but it is a very effective way of writing. Now guys, if you are having oops in your resume, remember that itself is a qualification. So powerful is the oops. Okay, now if you are able to write the code with the oops, then, because I can say that the people with 6-7 years experience also, they will hate to write the code in the oops because they don't know how to write the oops. It's not that it is difficult, it is a lack of knowledge. And there is a concept called as decorators in the Python. Decorators. And even the decorators, the fundamentals of the decorators will be found in the functions. If you know the functions, you can play with the decorators. And one of the most complicated concepts in the programming world is called as decorators. The people are really scared of that. Decorators. And of course, the lambda function will be there. That is also, if you see it, if you know it, it is pretty much easy. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Okay. Now, this is called as, the oops. Now, it is an interpreted programming language, guys. What is the interpreted programming language? It will execute line by line. Now, the compiler, it will, if you have the 100 lines of the code, it will execute, or it will check the error for the 100 lines of the code. After that, it will execute it. Now, if the 99 lines are without error and 99th line is having the error, so the program is terminated. Remember that. That is called as a compiler. It will not execute line by line. Whereas interpreter, what it will do? It will execute line by line. Okay. Now interpreter first line it will take, check the error and it will execute. Second line, check the error, execute. Third line, check the error, execute. Line by line it will do. So compiler, it will check complete error in a whole 100 lines. If it is error free, then it will execute. Obviously, the compiler will be much faster compared to that of interpreter, right? But the Python, this is a drawback. So what the Python did it is, they took the compiler, they took the interpreter and they clubbed up together. They call it as a PVM, Python Virtual Machine. So they got the compiler, they got the interpreter. Again, there is an internal mechanism will be there. We will not go so deep into that. So they got a compiler, they got the interpreter, they packed up together and they called it as a PVM. So whenever we are using the term PVM or the interpreter, we are referring to the PVM only. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of this is the whole load will be there, right? Whole load of the execution will be split up. And compiler will be doing his work, the interpreter will be doing it. Wherever the compiler is required, it will take care. Wherever the interpreter is required, it will take care. Sometimes that is the reason why sometimes whenever you are dealing with the coding, right? When you write the coding, if the interpreter is there, if you only interpreter is there, if there is like 100 lines of the code and 90th line is an error is there, whatever the 90 line output will be there, you will be seen. It will be seen. And after that, the program will get terminated. With a compiler, no, you will not see it. But in Python, sometimes what happens, sometimes you will see the output, sometimes you will not see the output at all. That means to say that sometimes the compiler will be taking care, sometimes the interpreter will be taking care of it. They are working in such a way that they are very fast compared to that of compiler. So that is the advantage of compiler and interpreter. Okay, combination which is called as PVM. Now the last one, guys, this is a really important one. What is this dynamically typed? Yeah. What is this dynamically typed, guys? The answer is dynamically typed in the control. Answer? Answer wrong is a computer program. Very simple. That's mistake. Difference. What is the dynamically typed? What is typed? Typed. We use the word typed, I think so. What is that? Data type. Data type. Yes.
According to my view, it's just as the auto correction. Auto correction.
How to do the correction? That is
automatic correction, automatic type.
Automatically typed. You are saying it. So it will write the program on its own?
No. As we see yesterday, the editor we are using, as you say, print or something, you will view or
you will get a correction over there, auto correction you are saying. There it will come down, the syntax. That is not the one. See, the typed meaning is, you want to say something? Balaji? Yes, sir? Yeah, that is not dynamically typed, but it is helping the dynamical type a bit. That is not the exactly dynamical type. Yes, Ashok? Same, my brothers. Balaji. Bhai bolo yaar. Have you heard it anytime? Heard it? See guys, there is two words are there in this, dynamically and typed. Typed is referring to the data type. What is dynamically? The static is there. Opposite of dynamic is static. What is static?
You can't give values at the runtime. You can't give the values at the runtime.
We can't give the values at the runtime. It's called as dynamical. Static. Yeah, non-changeable. In a simple term, non-changeable. When you are saying that non-changeable, they are called as static. When it is changeable, then it is called as dynamic. So here, dynamically typed means changeable data type.
Immutable.
Huh? Utility? Yeah, it's a bit. partially. What you said is also partially correct. So what this is exactly mean is, see, whenever you write the program, guys, there will be in the two phases. One is the editable phase. Second one is called as executable phase. Now the editable phase, now you are the king. You can write whatever you want, because whatever you write it, that will be considered in the editable phase. You can write whatever you want it, literally, okay? But executable phase, you are just a mere spectator. You are just have to observe it. You can't do anything over there. In the executable phase. Now, who is the person who is responsible for the executable phase? Your PVM or the interpreter. So in the editable phase, you are the king, I am the king, I will be writing anything, whatever. Once I execute, I am passing on the complete control to my PVM. Then in the PVM, while doing the execution, I can't change during the execution. When you are able to change the data type, that is called as dynamically typed. That means during the execution, when the data type is changed, that is called as dynamically typed. That is, when you are dynamically means changeable data type during execution, not in this. While writing code, anyone can write it. But during the execution, a same variable, one time it is holding an integer, same variable, second time it is holding a string, the same variables, third time it will hold a float. What is happening? One time the same variable integer, same variable float, and third time string. Here the data type is changed during the execution. During the execution. That is what is called as dynamically typed. Now you may ask me, is this not possible with the other programming language? No. Now the reason for that is what you said it, there is no predefined data type. Now when you take it in the other programming language, we are going to use it as like this, guys. In A is equals to 100. I told you yesterday. When this happens, from the left side it will come down. It will allocate a memory for the integer where 100, where the only it will accept integer only. Okay, once the memory is allocated for the integer, only it will accept integer. Now in the future, as you go down, A is equals to, now you are saying that A is equals to, I'll say apple over here. So this is an error in other program. Why? Because you already said that I want a memory location for what purpose? For only integer purpose. I want the memory location only for the integer purpose. Okay, then what you are doing over here? String you are doing. It will not accept. String is different from the integer, right? So it will not accept in the other program language. For in Python, what it will do is like A is equals to, I'm saying it 100. Here we are not giving data type. Have you seen it? We didn't give the int over there. That's what she was saying, that there is no need of giving the integer. Because of this, now here, what is happening? First, a memory is being occupied by the 100 and A is allocated to this. Okay, first the memory is occupied by the 100 and A is allocated. Now A is referring to what? Memory location where the 100 is there. Now what is the data type of A? As per the value. Whatever the value is stored, as per the value it is. Now here, when I'm doing it, A is equals to apple. What is happening? Can it accept?
Yes.
Yes, it accepts in Python. How it is accepting? What is the internal mechanism over here? See, usually what the people think is something like this, guys. They will keep a memory location over here. 100 is there. We are having a memory location over here, right? And we are going to give it A is equals to 100. Okay, clear? And this, now this is pointing, when I'm saying this one, now usually the people will be thinking that this value is changed inside this and apple is coming down over here, right? Yes or no? No. No, this is not happens over here. What happens over here is, if I'm giving it 100 over here like this. This is a permanent one, that is immutable. You can't change it. Once a value occupies memory in the Python, that is immutable. You can't change it. Now, how that is happening down there? It is nothing but there is another memory location is there where Apple is stored. And this reference will be coming down over here. What about this one then? This will be removed. Okay, because of this mechanism, internal mechanism, this dynamically typed is possible. Now you may get a question there. Okay, sir, if I am saying A is equals to, okay, let it write down over here. A is equals to, I am having like India over here. So another memory location will be allocated India, right? And A will be coming down over here. Right? A will be pointing out from here to here, it will be pointing out. Now, what happens to the Apple and 100? It is a waste of memory. Right? It is a waste of memory. No. What happens is, actually, there is a background program called as garbage collector. GC. Now, this, as soon as a variable was there here, as long as the variable is there, it will not touch. Once the variable is moved on to the another variable, or this memory location is not referred by a variable, automatically the garbage collector will come and delete it. And this one also, there is no variable is referring to this, automatically the garbage collector and come and delete it. Okay. Now, this one is having a variable referring, so it will not touch it. Now, when this garbage collector will come and delete it, not at the end of the program. No. Immediately, once the reference is changed, even though the program is running, it will come and delete it. That is the actual, nowhere, you are nowhere connected with the garbage collector. Automatically, it will come and it will delete the things, guys. Now, this is actually the concept of immutable. The whatever the value, remember this one, whatever the value, once it is assigned inside the memory, okay, occupy the memory, that is immutable. Especially what I'm talking about is the fundamental data types. Now, data types will be here two types. Now, we already came to this one. After this, the next concept is called as data types, guys. Okay, any questions you have it? Guys who are online, sorry that I was not able to answer. Yeah, another create. Guys, please wait till the last before asking questions so that I can go through them one after the other and I can answer them. Yeah, some of them gave the correct answers. Any questions, guys?
But actually, Python advanced coding advanced concept. But some people
అదే అన్నా కదా నేను చెప్తున్నాను అందుకు చెప్పినా నాకు తెలిసిన అడుగుతాను ఎవరైనా అడుగుతారు అది యాక్చువల్ there is no concept of advanced and because ఏందంటే when you do that our people will understand okay I am having the first set so like you know I am having the first small set this is a basic they will understand okay this is a basic now when I say the core means if ne core ane word lekunda nenu cheppinu anukonda the middle part means ante what is that exactly so advanced level there is no concept of advanced level also actually but usually we classify them into three types one is a basic core and advanced level but actually the Python people don't have anything like that they will have everything in a similar way that's it okay any more questions clear clear okay next class will be a very important one guys that is called as data types okay we are going to look into some data types really well and then we will be moving on now this is a bit slow I'm going because they were saying that from Monday till Monday we will be going slow then afterwards we will jump into the major things and we will do by that time I will complete it the major fundamental concepts and we can jump into the program. Okay. Again, if someone wants to get the system and wanted to do it over here, I don't mind. No. That if I give an assignment or if I'm writing a code, if you want to write it simultaneously, I don't mind. That's a better way of doing it. No, I want to do it at home, means it's up to you. Anything is fine for me. Okay, clear? Let's see that. Guys, any online, any questions? Okay, that's fine then. So this is what is about the very much core thing, what you have to know with this. Now you know that all you got introduced to the Python. What is Python? What is 3.x? What is 2.x? You know everything now. There's no question should be there in your mind. What is 3.x? What is 2.x? Now, once we move into the data types, guys, fundamental and sequential data types, then we will be seeing in detail what is a fundamental data types. Now, you know, the memory management is something really amazing with the Python. It will be like amazing it is. And because of that, the Python applications are very, very cheap and very fast executed. Because if you are storing one variable, one value, that value will be permanently stored, and wherever using that value, now A is there, A is occupied one place, wherever you are using the A, it will be referring to this one. There will be no different memory locations will be allocated. That is the advantage of the Python. Okay. Now again, in this, the once you know the basic, guys, we are going to do some intense programming over here. See, they are asking some questions. I joined today. Raj, welcome, Raj. You came today. So you want some previous sessions? Then you know, please coordinate with someone else, like admin people. They will provide you all the previous sessions. If you have any queries, you can raise me the point, or I will try to rectify all your doubts. Or you can be after the class. We will be having a backup class now, so you can be after the class. Rajshekhar, like, yes, we are going to do the project, Rajshekhar. Now, it is that I'm not going to provide you the project. Like, you will be doing the project. I will be helping you in the real-time project, or I will be doing and you will be supporting me. So we will be doing a real-time project. Definitely, we will be doing a real-time project. Guys, when you are asking the questions, please ask me at the last so that I can answer all your questions. Same code in the backup classes, there is no coding, only the concepts are there. Raj, like backup class, there is no coding is there. It is, we are not doing the backup class of the coding. We are doing the process of data science, how it goes on. Okay, guys. So I'm stopping the class over here. Any queries? No? Cool. Now we will be having the backup class. We were doing with that yesterday. We started with the simple things, and we are going to see the same, the wrangling. Hi, Kumar. So we will be doing the wrangling, cleansing, and all those process we are going to see today. So if you want to continue, you can do it, or if you already done it, it's up to you. Like if you want to be there or if you want to go. Okay. I can't unmute you, Kumar. Like whatever you want, you have to type it over there, and I will try to answer all your questions. Boxes రాలేదా మరి మ్యాకా మేబీ డిఫాల్ట్ తీసుకుంటా
నార్మల్గా
రన్ అవుతుందా?
ప్రోగ్రామ్ రన్ అవుతుంది కానీ మీరు లైన్ కంటిన్యూషన్ చూస్తారు కదా, నెక్స్ట్ లైన్ లో కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది.
ఎంటర్ నొక్కగానే
అంటే నెక్స్ట్ లైన్ లో కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది అన్నారు కదా, అదే లైన్ అది రావట్లేదు, ఎర్రర్ ఇచ్చేస్తుంది.
నెక్స్ట్ లైన్ లో కంటిన్యూ కాదు, మీరు కనెక్టింగ్ ఆపరేటర్ ఇవ్వాలి.
అంటే మనం ఇవ్వాలి సార్.
మనం ఇవ్వాలి. సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ ఇట్, ప్రింట్ ఇచ్చారు అనుకోండి, సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ ఇట్, బట్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్ యూ హావ్ టు గివ్ ఇట్. yes
ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్ ఇప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ మనం చాలా టైం పడుతుంది.
అవుతుంది
అంటే మనకి క్లాస్ 1.5 hours మీరు ఎలా 1 minute లో కవర్ చేస్తారు?
4 months 4 months
పైథాన్ 20 days. పైథాన్ 20 days.
1 month
1 month పైథాన్.
machine learning 1 month, deep learning 15 days, and predictive analysis like EDA process again 15 days, and then statistics and NumPy pandas, it will take like around 15-20 days. So it will be at the project 15 days. So 4 months ahead.
సో ఫలితం నిజంగా స్టార్ట్
వచ్చేదిగా మీరు
NumPy అంటే పైథాన్ లో లైబ్రరీ.
అవును,
సౌండ్
అదే NLP డీప్ లెర్నింగ్ లో వస్తుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Deep learning also, once you know the machine learning and deep learning is very easy. It is like 15-20 days lo అయిపోతుంది మీరు 50 deep learning.
సార్ పైథాన్ లో కంపైలర్ ఎక్లిప్స్ ఐడి ఎక్లిప్స్ డౌన్ చేస్తాం.
idea PyCharm, eclipse PyCharm. And first Python download చేసుకున్న తర్వాత PyCharm చేసుకో. Don't do it PyCharm first. So first do the Python and then you do the PyCharm. Okay? See, Kumar, like Spark and HDFC and all those things, you are talking about the Hadoop, right? So here how it will be means we are going to do the core concepts of the data science, dealing with the Python, NumPy pandas, and EDA process, machine learning, AI, matplotlib, Tableau. In the place of Tableau, you will be doing the matplotlib and Seaborn, where you are 2 ways of displaying the data. And after this, we are going to deal with the machine learning, deep learning, and the project and all those things. Hadoop, if you wanted, or you want the detailed Python, one end-to-end Python, we are going to stop the Python at oops and we will move towards the data science. If anyone wanted the complete Python, there will be a separate course will be there, end-to-end Python. You can enroll it, that is free of cost. Hadoop you wanted, again, it will be an extended course and you will be given. Yeah, Tableau we can do it if the time permit, definitely we can do it. But Hadoop if you wanted, no, we will not be doing the Hadoop as a part of this. We will not do the Spark, or we will not do the PySpark. So if you want to be a part of the Hadoop and all those things, there will be, again, you will be given an extra. It will be free of cost, nothing extra you have to pay. You can be a part of the course, other course. If you want to do simultaneously also, you can do it. Which technologies you are talking about? We are giving the enough technologies as for you to survive as a data scientist. Now, how come a Hadoop developer becoming a data scientist? Data scientist, again, Hadoop is dealing with the big data. Now you will be dealing with the big data over here using the pandas or the PySpark. No, we will not go into the Hadoop to do that, right? Teja, like you have to, once you enroll for the data science, just coordinate with the develop like admin people, they will definitely help you for this, enrolling into that. See what the Spark is done, Nick. Like what the Spark is done, you can easily do it with the pandas. Okay, what the Spark, the data manipulation, whatever you can do it. You can do it with the pandas. So no need for us to go to that. That's what I'm saying. If you are so eager of learning that, you will be provided with the another course. You can be a part of that course. That will be a free of cost. You can do it simultaneously. Nickel, like see, Nikhil, like what are the tools will be covered means like you will be provided with a Python, complete Python, NumPy, Pandas, and EDA process and Matplotlib and Seaborn and all the machine learning algorithms and clustering algorithms, ensemble learning, your time series analysis and NLTK implementation of NLP, and NLP will be implemented with the RNN also. These are like in the deep learning, TensorFlow and Keras and ANN, CNN and RNN with the LSTM. All these things are given to you along with this thing. And we are going to cover the microservices, Docker and AWS as well, as per the required ones. That's what I was saying you, Kumar. If you are enrolling for the data science, you will be provided with the free. I'm going to give you the Python. But if you want to learn the end-to-end Python, you will be raising a request and done. And Spark is a part of the Hadoop. So once you know the Hadoop, they will be teaching you the Spark as well as a part of this course only. Raj, that's what I was saying to Kumar, like, I'm not going to teach you the Hadoop, but if you want to learn the Hadoop, you can enroll for the Python as well as the Hadoop course free of cost if you want it. Will tell you. See, you will be getting enough information, Raj. Whatever you are required, you will be easily, I will be providing to you the end-to-end where you can implement the project on your own. But, some of the concepts, there is a limitation for me as well. I can't go ahead and take it all the concepts because my limitation is only 4 months. I have to complete everything. So again, see, my core will be like make you expertise with where you can implement the things on your own, like Python, machine learning and deep learning. I will try to make it very simple so that you can implement the things, whatever the complicated situation is there, you can implement on your own. And you can do the data manipulation on your own. Nothing has to be taken with anyone help. But there is a limitation for me. I can't cover everything in this short period of 4 months. So again, if you take the AWS, that itself is a big course, and Hadoop, again, it's a very huge course. So I can't give you all those things, right? So that's why I'm requesting you all to enroll with the simultaneous batches so that, that time will be utilized very perfectly. I think that, there is a mentor information will be provided to you. You can coordinate with the customer, like the people who are coordinating with you, just call them. They will provide you the the details of the admin, and you can raise all your questions over there. Project on the recent job related, which can help me. What do you mean by recent job related? I didn't get you, Rashikar. You are into which job it is? You are related to healthcare. Yeah, you asked me, Rajshekhar, that would be a big asset for you. Okay. Don't forget that domain knowledge is a big asset for you in the data science. I don't know why you are so much worried about that thing. I'm saying it, if you keep your healthcare domain experience and when you can talk about the healthcare domain, then that would be a big help for you. Yeah, Hari, I will ask you. I will ask them to do it. Okay. So guys, I will stop it over here and I will be having the backup class now. So sorry, but and again, I will request you all while during the course, if you are during the class, if you are raising the questions, now I can't look at those questions because I will be getting diverted. Yeah, if I'm giving an answer for the question, that would be well appreciated. But if you're asking a question, please don't think that I'm not answering that or I'm neglecting you or ignoring you. It is not like that. I don't want to get diverted over there. That's what it is. Okay, so whatever the questions are there, just keep it with you, and right after that I will ask you, you can raise all your questions and I will definitely help you out with all the answers. Thanks guys, sorry for that. Just a minute, I will get some water. Okay guys, let's start it. So yesterday we stopped at, okay, so life cycle of data science, that is in the two parts I said it. One is the data, okay, data analysis and data analytics. So under the data analysis, what is the data analysis? It is a process of analyzing the current situation based on the historic data. Whatever the previous data is there, based on that you will do. Now the simple questions, what it will answer is how and why. How it happened and why it happened. That is what it will answer. And this analytics will be answering what it will happen in the future. Okay, that is, it is a process of predicting the future based on the historic data. Now this comes under the like analytics based. This comes under the analysis based. Now let's see them one after the other over here, and then you will understand, and I will connect it. This is only the concepts I'm, and then I will let you know that which technology, which part of our course we will be dealing with it. Okay, so now when you take it as an day 2, I will write it. Thank you. Now, like in the, I will copy this again, writing will be a painful. The first and foremost process, guys, that is called as, this should be inside this, I will take it. Okay, now first and foremost process is wrangling. Now see, in the data science, usually what exactly happened was, in early phase of in 2015 or some other time, they were claiming that data science is model centric. The model centric means, you know, the what is a model. Yesterday I told you what is a model. Like it is nothing but a program. The program which we are going to write it based on then formula. So previously the people were thinking that it is a model centric. Model centric means the people who know the model, knowing the model is itself major important. That's what the people were thinking. When you talk about the data science in the previously, like maybe around 5 years back, 6 years back, it was a model centric. Remember that it is a model centric. Okay. But now they realize that this is not the model centric. This is data centric. What do you mean by data centric? Is data is very important to the whole of data science. Previously they were thinking that the model, whatever the model we are going to prepare it over here, you see this is model building. Model building is nothing but using the programming language, we are going to prepare a model. That is what is called as model centric. The model is that based on the formula, you will write a code that is called as model. But they were thinking that it is the model centric, but that is not, data science is not model centric. Now they are looking at the data centric, the people who are knows to how to do the play, how to play with the data, how to gather the best of the data, they will be considered as a, you know, data centric. Now this is data set. That is the reason why the industry is looking for someone who is having very good experience on feature engineering. What do you mean by feature engineering? Is nothing but exploratory data analysis, which is also called as, you know, pre-processing of the data. The people who are having a really good experience on the pre-processing of the data, they are the ones who are highly in demand as of now. Now, why I'm saying this is model, if you take it your data science project as, now this is your project which we are having. Sorry for this. Okay, we are having a project over here, like this is your project. Now your project duration is maybe around like 3 months it is given. Okay, 3 months. For this 3 months, I can say that 2 months you will be taking it for only and only data collection. This is very, very important. Now, if you have one of the best models, one of the best model means you have built up one of the best model, but the data is wrong, then what it will not work. Now I'm predicting the future. Just imagine I'm using the time series analysis and I want to predict it the Geo Reliance share market in the next few years. I want to invest money. I want to invest on the shares. I want to invest. So I wanted to invest in that. I want to know that how my trend will be going on, how my Geo shares will be growing up or it will fall down. I want to know it over there. I want to know it. So I thought like, okay, I will apply this machine learning model and I try to get it. Now I prepared one of the best models, guys, using one of the best algorithms. I prepared it over here and I gave the data, and this model learned it from it. I questioned it and it gave the answer that it will be going up with the maybe 50% hike or 50% it will be going up with the profit. Now I thought like, okay, I will go and invest in this. But when this data what you're giving is wrong, it is completely wrong. So your model will be learning wrong. Then your prediction will be wrong. Even though if you have one of the best models, if your data is wrong, whole structure is gone. So collecting of the data is one of the most important point in the data science. If you ask any of that, there is a research has been done, and once few of the best people, best data scientists who were working in the Google, Facebook, they were asked them that what is the best, what is the most difficult part in whole of your data science process? They said that collection of the data. If the data is wrong, then that's it. You can't do it. You can't do it anything. Even though if you have the one of the best of the model, then I will show you how we can prepare a model. Just see this, how easy it is. We don't know anything. We have not done any Python. We don't know what is NumPy. We don't know what is statistics. We don't know what are the models, nothing. I will prepare a simple model over here. See how much time it will take to prepare a model. Okay, I'll use it something called as in the, I'm not installing anything. I'm taking an online editor called as Lab. Lab is an online editor which is being developed by the Google people. Now I said that what is the contribution of the Google to develop the Python, right? Now they developed like collaborator is an editor, IDE, they call it as IDE. Now if you run it, you will get it as a different editor. You will be getting line by line or something like that. This is a cell-based editor. It is called. This is a replica of the Jupyter Notebook. What they call it as Jupyter Notebook, which is a part of Anaconda. You have to download the Anaconda. In that, there will be Jupyter Notebook. So usually this is the same way it looks like Jupyter Notebook. So it is an online version. For that, we have to download the Anaconda. For this, no need of giving. Directly, if you have the Google account, that is enough. Whatever you write it, automatically it will save you in your drive. Okay. So here what I'm doing is I'm just giving it some, I'm making it activated and as PD. Now it will take, first time it will take some time to activate it. You can see that allocation and initialization, connection, all this happens. After this, you know, it is executed now. It's executing. A simple thing I'm doing it. It's done. Okay, it's done over here. Can you see that? Now I'm going to create a model. Now preparing the model for this, I said it, what we required in order to prepare a model. Here you see this. It is a Python programming and statistical algorithm. Okay. Now there are some number of algorithms are there. What are the algorithms we are having? Like you know, linear regression is one of the algorithms. Decision tree is another algorithm. SVM is support vector machine is another algorithm, and naive Bayes is another algorithm, and like random forest. So many algorithms are like this. So now using this algorithm formula, I'm going to write it Python code. Okay. Now, which one? SVM is one of the most popular one, very frequently used. We are going to use that. So see this. I am having a library. I will say that from. You want to write it? You can write down linear decision tree, SVM, naive. Many are there, guys. 10 to 15 are there. We are going to cover all of them. Not to worry about. So. So here from this naive Bayes and random forest, many are there. In this, I'm going to create a model. From sklearn is a library. From the sklearn, I'm giving it as a like SVM. Okay, SVM is an algorithm. I'm going to use it. Import SVC. I'm going to use it SVC. Okay. Now that's it. I'm done it. See, this is a library is there. Inside that SVM is there. Inside that SVC is there. Now I'm done it. Now it's something like this. You have a library over here. I will give it. This is my library. Or let me write it down over here. This is my library, guys. Okay. This is sklearn. Okay. Now inside this, there is something called as linear model. Oh, sorry, SVM. SVM is there. Inside this, there is something called as SVC. Now, this is especially used for the classification problem. Okay. Now, we will talk about that classification. Now, I imported from this, I got this. That is what I said it. From sklearn.svm import SVC. Okay. Simple, in a simple norm. Now, this I am running it. Okay. How many lines code I written? Only one. Forget about this one. This is not related. I just activated it. That's it. I will remove this. Now see this. SVC of. I'll write it. SVC model. I'll run it. Finished. That is a model. This is a model. I created the model. How many lines it took? 2 lines. This is the import and this is one more line. 2 lines it took. And you say that is this the model? Let's see this SVC underscore model. It's a name I gave it. I can give it Arjun, I will give it XYZ, anything I can give it. Now I will run this one. Automatically you will see that SVC. For this model, I'm going to give the data. I will get the data and I will give the data. And this getting the data is a real challenge. This is a model, guys. I put the model. After getting, I have to get the data. I will split up the data and I will give the training data to this to learn it. And after that, I will give the testing data to test it. Simple. But the data is the one, a real challenge. Real challenge. Now, definitely you can't expect me to go and get the data, right? It is like hundreds and thousands of records we'll be doing. So usually what we are going to do, there is an online portal called as Kaggle. And this Kaggle will have the data set inside. Now, if you click on this, you will have all the data set. These are all are real-time data. It is not the dummy data. It's a real-time data. Now, whatever data set you want to get it, take it over here from here. Now, how I will do it, like, let me show you. I will search it over here directly. Kaggle. Now, I want it Irish data set. Irish is a flower. Okay, there are 3 different flowers will be there. That 3 different flowers data set. You see this data set I'm asking. So here I got it. Now see the data how much I am having in this. I'm downloading it. See, download it. Okay, it's asking my. It's downloading this. See this? Now I will just open this one. This is a data set. This is a CSV. See this? It is a comma separated one. It's not a Microsoft one. It is a comma separated one only in the Microsoft. So if you want to open, you can open it over here. No, it will take the default Excel. If it is there Excel means it will take the Excel. If you want, you can open it in the notepad also. It's up to you. Now you see it. Now, what is this is? Now there is Irish setosa. If you go it, Irish versicolor. Now Irish virginica. Okay. Now what is this is? Now you see this. Everything you will not know it. We don't know about this. Now, if the health insurance is there, how you know? You don't know. How you know the medical? Now, I want to check it out the cancer. How I will know whether the cancer is, what is the readings, what is it? We don't know. We are a software guys. That is what is called as domain knowledge. So you have to search for that and you have to explore. Now, we don't know about this. I will explain you how you have to do it. Now, here I will go with it. I don't want this one. Google, see this, Irish flower types. Okay. Irish flower types, I will write it. Now here I will say that or I will give it as Okay, this is versicolor, this is setosa, and this is the virginica. But what is the difference between them? So what is the difference is, here you will find the see the difference. Sepal length, here you can see sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. Okay, you will not get anything. Now see this. Now you will understand. Here, can you see this? This part is called as. Okay, this part is called as sepal. Now the sepal and the petals are different for the different features. Now, this is having a versicolor is having different, and setosa is different, and this is different. Okay, virginica is different. Now here what it is given is, if you have it as sepal length of 5.1, sepal width 3.5, petal length 1.4, petal width 0.2, that is called as setosa. Now these are the different readings will be given for the setosa. How many we have? Nearly around like 50 we have. Yeah, 51. Now all these things I'm going to give it to my model. Now these readings my model will memorize it. And whenever we are going to get a sepal length, sepal width, sepal width under this range, it will say that it is a sepal. Now next time, you know, this it will distinguish between, this is versicolor. Versicolor is having a different length and width over here. So this difference, it will analyze, the model will analyze this difference. And when you are giving some readings, I have it, a petal length is this, petal width is this, sepal length is this, sepal width is this. What is the flower? It will say it. What is this flower? Irish, whatever the Irish flower it is, it will say it very clearly. This you can't do it. It is very difficult for us to do it, because memorizing all these things and checking it out is really difficult. But your model can easily learn, and it will say that which category it will come to. Now you know what is the Irish data? Irish data set. Now this is what happens. When you see the data set first time, you will not get anything. Then you have to do an exploration on the data. Once you start exploring, you will be gaining the knowledge on that. And once you get it, then you will give the thing to your model, and then you will understand. Now getting this data is not possible for me. I'm a trainer for you. No way. If any trainer is saying that I will prepare data, I prepare the data, means is like, you know, he's a supernatural person. Because this is not possible. Where I will go and get this length and all those things. But the second important thing is, I got it from the Kaggle. Is it genuine? How you say?
We don't.
That's what we don't know. Okay, this is, we can't do it. It's
We
very,
have
very
something data to do the work.
huh?
We have something data to do the work.
Yeah, it's like this, you know. If you are being hungry is better than eating something poisonous. Which one is better? Right? Now, if your model is not having data, wait for the good data, right? Rather than giving whatever is there in that will create a big problem for us. It's give a very big problem. So that is the reason why the collection of the data is really very, very important. Now you may ask me a question over here. Sir, like, you know, you said it over here, like in this, there are different algorithms are there. These algorithms are for which problems? There will be only two types of problems will be there. One is the regression problem, and second one is the classification. For only these two types of problems, we are having like 10 to 15 algorithms are there. Now the question is, which algorithm is better? That's what the question is. That was the thought that previously the people were having, which algorithm is better. That is a big headache for them. That is the reason why they were saying that this is a model centric. Preparing the right model is very, very important. what I will do it is, as of now today, simple. Now, how to create a model? You have seen this. Here is a model I created. Okay, 2 lines. Now I will create it one more model. You see, sklearn dot like tree import like tree classify. Now I'm creating what? DT Arjun, I said. Give the name to make you understand that that is whatever name you can give it. Okay, I gave it my name. So again, I will say that decision tree classify. What is this? Second model I created. What is the model name? DT Arjun. And what is this model is which algorithm? Decision tree algorithm. Now you see DT underscore Arjun. I got the second model. Okay, it's showing us DF. Decision tree. How many lines it took? Four lines it took to me to create. How many models I have it? Maybe 15 models I have. How many lines it will take? 30 lines. 30 lines I write it means I will get 15 models. I got the data. I got the same data. I will send it to all the model. Send it to all the model. Which model is performing better? Do that. Simple. Right? Won't you feel so? It is much easy. Right? So that is the way you can rectify the problem. That is what we are going to do it over here in when you do it, when you know a better Python. I told you just now, I told you modularization. Okay, the reusability. I will create a different models in the different modules or different functions, and I will pass on the data to one at a time, and automatically I will get the best of the results by using a concept called as cross validation and hyper tuning parameter, and the cross validation I will use it. I will get the best of the model. That's it. With a single one time only I have to do it. One time I will write it at 20 lines or 50 lines code. And if I give the data will go through the different models and get the which one is the best. Simple. Now, which one is important now? Creating the model is important or getting the data is important? Getting the data is more important, because creating the model is very easy. Now that is happened because realize that, and now it will say that it is a data center, not the model center. Now I work with one of the companies called as Data Robot. I'm doing a part-time one, not a full-time, a part-time one. I will support them on the technical side. Their work is this. They will create the model. They create their website is to create the model. If you give the data, that's it. It will go through the different models and give you. And that is what I'm doing it over here, right? They are doing in a big way and charging a lot of money. I'm doing in a normal way, and I will be doing the same thing. That is what it happens. So it is a very easy. Now the question is, in this all, which one is getting the data? Wrangling is the one which is getting the data. Okay. Data wrangling is a process of collecting the relevant data. Now, what is the process involved over here? There is a process will be involved, guys. This process, usually the people will ignore it or they are not aware of this. Let's talk about this process. What is this? Wrangling is a process of involved. So there is a process we have to follow to collect the data. What is that process is? Usually this process is also called as life cycle of wrangling. Call it as life cycle of wrangling. Life cycle of wrangling. What are the things involved in this is? First is data gathering. Gather the data. Second step is data exploring. Third step is data filtering. Okay. Fourth step is data conversion. Fifth step is data merging. Okay. These are the steps involved under the wrangling. Now, output of this is the outcome of this is perfect structural data. Perfect structural data you're going to get. Outcome is perfect structured data. Perfect structured data. Now, what is this all about? What is this gathering? What is this exploring? What is this filtering? What is this conversion? And what is this merging? See, gathering can be done in the two phases, two ways. Okay, the data gathering can be done in two ways. You want to note down? Note down. Clear? Clear? It is a process of data gathering and data exploring, data filtering, and data conversion and data merging. Now let's talk about the data gathering. Data gathering can be done in two phases. Again, two ways. One is called as primary data collection. Second one is called as secondary data collection. Okay, first one is called as primary data collection. Second one is called as secondary data collection. What is the primary data collection? Before that, let's go with the secondary data collection, guys. Now, what I have done it just now, I got the Irish data right here. Irish data, I got it. From where I got it? Kaggle database. Now I collected this. Who collected this? Right? They did the experiment for these things. Someone else has done it. Someone who is really interested in these flowers and all those things, they will do this research work. And they must be done this research work for the years together to get this data. But how much time it took for me to do it?
2 seconds.
Their 1 year or 2 years of research work, I got it in 2 minutes. Right? Now, who collected this? The other person, some scientist or some doctors collected this who are dealing with this flowers. What purpose they collected? They know that the Arjun will be downloading. That's why they collected. And why they collected? Because of their use. Their purpose, they wanted to do some research work. They collected for their work. But I am using them for my work. Their collection, their research work, I am using for my purpose. So they are the primary users. They are the primary data collectors. I am the secondary data collector. Okay. So secondary data collector is you are the secondary person to use the data. So when a secondary data collection is a process of using the already collected data, you are the secondary person to use the you are using the already collected data by someone else. Okay? Collected by someone else. Okay? Now you are a secondary user. Now this is the using the data which is collected by someone else is called as secondary data collection, and you are a secondary user over there. Who is the primary user? The person who collected. Okay. Now is this good? Which one is good? This one is good, or doing it from that person, whatever he did it, that is good, or me downloading it within 2 minutes is good? Kada? But the problem is there over here. What is the problem is, see, this data we collected from that person. We collected. Now he collected for his own purpose. Okay. Now, when I took the data here, I took the data. Maybe the columns, what he put it on, the 4 columns or 5 columns over here, these columns were put it on based on his requirements. Now I took it. Now what I will do it, I will go through this data. Just now I've gone through the data and we analyzed it based on the flower. What is that? I'm exploring. So I'm doing the exploring. So when you're going through the data, examining of the data is called as exploring. Okay, I'll say that examining of the data. I will say that examining of the data is called as, examine the data, not the examining. Examine the data is called as exploring of the data. Okay, exploring of data. Now, after exploring of the data, sometimes, if you take another example, just imagine a simple example. I'm going to make it. Now you are over here, you are working for a company over here. Just imagine you are working for a company over here. This is a company. Okay. Now a institute came to you, like there is a Narayana Institute will be there, right? It's very famous, very, very famous around this one. The Narayana Institute is there. Now they approached you. They approached your company and said that, guys, can you go to all the institutes, maybe all the institutes around the Hyderabad or around the, major cities, and go to the major institutes, okay? Like 4 or 4. Let's take it all the institutes in Hyderabad. Just go through all the institutes in Hyderabad. We are having 4 institutes, and get the top 10 people. Top 10 people from the Institute A, Narayana Institute A, Narayana Institute B, Institute C, Institute D. Get that top 10 people. This is 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, and 10 people. How many people we got it? 40 people here. You think that there are only 10 people will be there? There may be hundreds and thousands of the people will be studying. Yeah, maybe there may be around like 200 people are studying over here, 300 people are studying over here. This is 250 again and 200 again. Just imagine, out of this I have to get top 10. Now what my company is appointed me, yeah, go and get it this. First I go to these people and I will ask the data. They will give the data to me. What the data will consist of? Student details. Now they will not give a particular student details. They will give all the student details. They gave me all the student details. Now there are, how many students are there? 200 students are there. Now in this 200 students, I have to get the top 10, top notch people 10. So how to get it? First 10 or last 10? Which one I will get it? On what basis I will do it? On what basis I will do it? The top people, top intelligent people. How I will get it? Yeah.
Depending on their marks.
Marks, simple. Depending on their marks, we are going to get the, right? We are going to get the top people. Okay. So here, yeah, that's right, Nazia. We are based on the marks you are going to do it. Okay. Now, do you think that as soon as you go there, the administration will be having only marks data with them? No. Other data will be there with them. Now, what are the data they will be collecting of a student? First, they will say that student ID will be there, student name will be there, student father name will be there, student mother name will be there, and contact number and email ID. Now, is this as important for me to get the rank? No. There may be address, Aadhaar, all these things will be there. Apart from this, there may be some of the data like last, maybe like 50 columns or 20 columns, 30 columns, it will be there. Out of them, last will be their marks like English, science, maths, computers, all these marks will be there. Now, which one is important for me? These are the ones which are important for me. What about this one? Is this important? No. I want the name, ID required. Okay, these two are important. And then what I wanted, these things I wanted. So first what I will do it, as soon as I get the data, I will go through the data. That is a process of exploring. And then what I did it, I don't want these columns. So what we did it, we removed these columns. What is this? Filtering. Right? I'm filtering. So column based, I'm filtering. See, I'm not filtering based, or I'm not correcting the data in the value database. I'm not doing the correction. I'm doing based on the column. Based on the column, I'm removing these columns completely. I'm removing the columns. Right? I'm removing the columns. Now, how many columns I got it? SD, SNAME, English, Science, Maths, and total, average, and the grade. These are the ones. Based on the grade and the average, I will rate it who is the top notch. How many previously? I may get it 20 columns. Now I took it how many? Only 6 or 8 columns I took it. Previously, they gave me the complete 20 column data. I went through that data. Going through the data is called as exploring. Okay, examining of the data is called as exploring. Now, after doing the exploring, what I did it, I filtered it, which one I required and which one I'm not required. So what I'm doing it over here, here you can see I'm filtering it. This is the process of filtering. Filtering is nothing but selecting the required columns is called as filtering. Now, selecting the required columns. So you're doing the column based filtering over here, not the data based filtering. You are doing it column based filtering. So select, it's the process of selecting the required columns. Required columns. Now, after doing this, okay, I collected this one. Okay, I've done the filtering. So how much columns I collected? 8 columns I collected. So this I collected 8 columns. From where I got this 8 columns data, guys? I got it from the center A. This is the first center, right? I went to the first center, I got it A. How many people I collected? 8 columns data, I got it 10 people over here. Clear? Or maybe I may have 200 people over here. Just I will keep the 200 people, but I collected only 8 columns, which is required. Then I will go to the next one. Now this will help me to get the 10 records, right? Based on these columns, 8 columns, I can get the 10 records, top notch 10. Then I will go to the B and I will get the same process and I will get the 10 records. And I will go to C and I will get it how many? 10 records. And D, I will get the 10 records. But this may be in the CSV file format. This may be in the Excel file format. This may be in the notepad and this may be in the Word. Can it be possible? Yes, it is possible. It's not required that all the 4 branches will be using only one format, right? They may be using different format. They may not have a particular software. These people must be storing in the CSV. These people may be storing in the Excel. They may be having a notepad or the word pad. Anything you can do it, right? Now, when you are doing this, what will happen is, what are the different formats we are having? 4 different formats. Now, first is CSV, Excel, Note, and Word. Can you combine them? No, you can't combine them. They are different format. So I will convert this one. Already it is CSV. I will keep it as CSV. Excel, I will keep it as CSV, convert into CSV. Notepad, I will convert into CSV. Word, I will convert into CSV. What is this process? Conversion. That's what I did it over here. You see, next one is conversion. It is the process of converting the data into one single format is called as conversion. It's the process of converting the data from the different sources. It is the process of converting the data from the different sources into single format is called as conversion. Process of converting data from different sources into single format is called as, okay. Now we got the data all in which format, guys? We got the data in CSV. We got the 4 CSV files. Can you merge it? Very easily you can merge it. Very, because all are same format, right? So we can merge it over here. Okay. So the process is called as merging over here. This process is called as merging. Clear? Now this is the, the wrangling process. Now on which one you will be applying this wrangling process, guys? Only when you are having a secondary data collection. When you are having a secondary data collection, you are not collecting the data, someone else will be collecting. They may have some extra columns, so you will be taking as per your requirement, you will be taking the data, and then first you are going to explore it. Then you will remove the unnecessary columns, and then you will convert it as per your requirement, and you will merge it. This is the process of when you are dealing with the secondary data collection. Now there is a big risk factor will be there with the secondary data collection. First one is, now how to know that this is a correct data? You don't know. How you will say that it is a genuine data? We can't say it. You have to blindly believe the opposite person who collected the data, and you have to go for that. That's it. Now, what is the advantage? Advantage is I can get the data in a very less time with very less cost. Now, I got this data without any cost at all. Within no time, I got it, right? Maybe sometimes I may have to do some research work here and there, but I will get it, the data from the government sources and all those things. I will get it and I will put it. So the advantage is we can get the data in very less time. Okay, when you're dealing with this one, you will be getting in a very rapid phase. You will get the data. Secondary data collection will be getting in a very short time. And the genuine, whether it is genuine or the purity of the data, we don't know about that. Whether it is a genuine data or it depends from where you are getting. It depends on the source. So genuineness or the correctness or the purity of the data is purely depend upon the source. Now here we said that we got it from Kaggle. Is there any certification given by anyone that Kaggle will not have the fake data? Maybe Kaggle may got it from a reliable source. Now, for example, Kaggle will believe in the reliable source like government sites, government websites, or the news magazines, or research, something like that you are believing in. Now you got the data from there, but who collected the data over there? In the government websites also, in the hospitals also, the person who entered, he must be fed up of entering hundreds of thousands. He will just copy and put. There may be a chance, right? He can do it. He can do the corrupted. So here we don't know that whether the data is corrupted or not, guys. Here we can't say that it is a corrupted data or not. We have to blindly believe it and go. Now the best source of secondary data collection is, now I will write it over here, source of secondary data collection is, first one is the Kaggle like website. Second one is government website. Okay. And social media, this is the worst. And news channels or news magazines or news channels, news sources. These are some of the different sources through which you can get the secondary data collection. Now in this, I can say that this is the way you can keep it up. This is a hierarchy, guys. First and foremost is government websites. Definitely when you get the data from the relevant websites, you will be getting the best of the data, very genuine and incorrupted data, or very genuine data. Second one is news sources, that is it, news news magazines or paper, print media, or the social media, like, electronic media, all this comes over here. They usually maintain the genuinity. Otherwise, they will not display it. Next one is Kaggle. Now, Kaggle is also, it's a Kaggle like websites are there. Gapminder, Kaggle, these are some of the websites are there, which are like, okay, we can go with it. And social media, this is the worst. We can't believe it completely. We can't believe it. We don't know that from where we are getting, how we are getting, we don't know at all. So these are the sources of the secondary data collection. Now, if you know your friend, you got the data from your friend, then you know them, he's done a good job and he's got the data and you can use that data for your purpose, then you can use that data. Otherwise, strongly recommended, you have to go with the government websites only. Okay. Now, this is about, again, the problem over here. The advantage is very less cost and in a very less time, you will be getting the data. Okay, less cost and less time. I can say that we will get it in less cost, less time. And disadvantage, maybe corrupted data. We don't know the pureness of the data. Maybe a corrupted data. Now, this is all about your secondary data collection. And when you are doing the secondary data collection, only then this will be coming into the picture. It's not that you should not do it. If you secondary data collection, when you do it, these things will be coming into the picture. Now, when you are doing the primary data collection, see, when you are not finding the data in other sources, then we are going to go with the primary data collection. For example, now, like the best example I can say it is, if you are working in a company, you are in a managerial position is there. Now your CEO or your stakeholders came to you and they said that, can you get me the potential hours spent by our company, our employees? What is the potential hours of our employees? Right? Potential hours means?
How many working hours they have spent in office?
Okay. That is not the sitting in the office. They will be having the chat. They will be going into the cafeteria. We are talking about the login hours, login out. No, that is not called as potential hours. That can be easily got. The potential hours is how many hours they are spending on the system in working on the project. Okay, how many working? So how you will do that? Small company, yeah. Okay, workforce management, how they will do it? That's what I said it. If you check the login hours, it will not help you at all, because they may be sitting in the cafeteria, they may be sitting in the, some of the rooms over there, meeting rooms, and having a chat over there. I want the potential hours. Potential hours means the hours which they worked on my project. So that can be done by monitoring. You have to do a very close monitoring. Like you have to see that how many hours they are spending in the cafeteria in a day, how many hours they are spending out of. They will log in and they may not log off until, and they will go out for the cup of tea and they will come inside. No one will question you over there. Okay, no one will question you. In that case, that all comes under the potential hour only. That is not the potential. How many hours they spent. So I have to track it down there. Close monitoring. What time they entered and how much hours they spent on the system, and how many hours they are spending in the meeting, how many hours they are spending in the lunch break, how many hours they are spending in the tea breaks or snacks or something like that. So this process I have to do it. Now, can you expect that this will be there in my government websites or in the Kaggle? No. How can it will be there? My company details, how they will be doing? I have to do it. I have to do it now. CCTV camera is nothing but the monitoring of the data. Okay, so we will be doing some process over here. What is the source for the primary data collection? Monitoring. Second one, interview, survey, research, all this comes under the category of, primary data collection. So monitoring, interview, survey, research, and all these things comes under this. Now, when I am collecting the data, okay, when I am collecting the data, now the primary data collection process. Okay, no problem. See, it means that where I can share these things to you. What I will do, keeping with me, I'm writing for your sake only, right? Just coordinate with them, admin, like where you can, so that every day after this, I can export this one over here like this. I will not do all those things. I will send it to the person, whoever you want it, you can take it. Now, just I have to do something like this. See, I got all the data over here. And then in the PDF format, it is it, and I will download it and I will get it in the PDF format. Clearly, I will get it in the PDF. How many I have to do like that? So what I will do it is, usually I will recommend you to do it something like this. Here, if I have it, here I have a folder over here. This is a folder. I will keep one folder over here. Usually I will do it. I strongly recommend the people to do this. If they give me a drive access, suppose they are giving a drive access. What is today's date? Like 22nd December 2021. I will keep it. Okay. Inside this, I'm going to keep it as a class notes. Okay. I will keep the class notes. And this class notes is nothing but I will put it on that class notes inside this. Whatever I just now showed you, right? This one. This part, I will put it inside. Okay. Then there will be class programs will be there. Now there will be a class programs. So if I do it, I can do it in the GitHub, but it will be messed up completely. It's not a big deal, but it will be messed up. You will be not able to get it, which data is there. Now here I will give it a class programs. For the programs I did it in the class, I will directly put it into this. For you, no need to search anywhere, everything is there inside this one. Now, if I give an assignment over here, usually I will give the assignments. Now, assignment details also I will put it on over here. And then what I will do it is, after assignments, I'm going to keep it like solutions. Now, if you are not able to do these assignments, I will put on the solution. So everything, usually I prefer to do it like this. Now the video, it's their wish, like where they will put it on or something. So I will be doing like this. I love to do like this. Put it on everything, and you will not have any question, or you will not ping me that I didn't get that, I didn't get this one. Everything will be there on this, and it is only viewable. You can lay it out, and if I keep it editable, some people will delete it. So I usually keep it as a viewable. So you can see this notes, you can take it, screenshots, take it. You want to prepare your own notes, you prepare it. It's up to you. Like this is the way I usually keep all the documents.
You will keep the notes and write it, but how will you get the notes, sir? From media like Google Drive or what?
That's what I'm asking. Ask them, they will let you know. Classroom, they will do that classroom.
But because all other faculty people also doing like this on this.
Yeah, Google Drive is the best one. But they will be like, when they give an access to me, I can do it like this. Every day I can put it on, and I can put on directly. If there is no assignments, there won't be no assignment folder inside that. But there will be a notes, there will be a programs, and maybe videos, I don't know, like you can put it on. This is the best way I can do it. Again, I'm not saying that how many means not how many of this class. I will be taking like 4 or 5 sessions throughout the day. My GitHub will be filled with that if I'm going to keep it something like that. So I strongly recommend that this is the way. Put it on, you take it whenever you want it. This will be available for you lifetime, or whenever they will be removing it. I'm not responsible. Whatever is there, I'm giving it. If you wanted also, I will be having some books will be there. Once we complete one particular topic, I will share the books also. Not before the topic, after the topic, I will do it. Before the topic means I will be in the topic. Okay? Because unnecessary topics will be there in that. A book means like very fat books will be there. You know, each and every topic in Python is very powerful. Now, if you take the NumPy itself is have a book. Pandas itself will be having a book. Sci-fi, yeah, that's a very small one.
Okay, sir, మనం ఎక్కువ ఉపయోగించేది NumPy ఇంకా pandas sir. Data science కి sci-fi అవసరం.
They will never use it. TensorFlow in the future, and it depends. Neku ippudu solution undanukondi. If you want the solution, one particular solution. Now, Pandas is a one solution for doing a very, very powerful data structure. You can play with the things if you are there with that. And there is an alternative for this is PySpark. Now, there was a gentleman was asking me a question, where is Spark and all. I don't know like why they are asking that one, but you will never use the Spark or a Hadoop. If you wanted to use also, see, everything you can't be, you are not a superhero. Yes, try to understand that in the project means 10 మంది ఉంటారు, ప్రతి ఒక్కరు ఒక్కొక్క పని చేస్తుంటారు. మీకు అసలు ఒక్కోసారి పనే ఉండదు. ఓ చిన్న పనికి ఇప్పుడు నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి వాట్ ఎవర్ ఐఎమ్ క్లీనింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్, ఫర్ దాట్ వీ విల్ డూ ఇట్ ఇన్ అవర్, దే విల్ గివ్ యూ 1 week. రాకుంటే నేర్చుకొని మరీ చేయొచ్చు, అంత ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. Getting the interview is very, very difficult. Now, sometimes the people will be calling me and they will be asking me the solution. Today they get it, they will ask me the solution. I will tell them, use this keyword, you will be getting is, use this function, you will be doing it. There is an option is there. అన్ని గుర్తుండడం నాకు కూడా కష్టం కదా. అక్కడ ఉంటుందేమో చూడు, ఒకటి ట్రై చేయి వచ్చేస్తుంది. And I will also try it out whenever I am not doing it, because I am also learning over there. I will try it out and do it. After 4 days, మళ్ళీ కాల్ చేస్తాను. 4 days after, 3 days after కాల్ చేసి, సార్ అది చిన్న ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది. What are you doing from past 3 days here? I have time, sir. So they wanted to do it tomorrow. So I took the suggestion. I'm doing the learning and I'm doing it. That's what it will happen. So you will have a lot of time over there, time gap. So this is how I will want to prepare it. Let's go back to this and finish it. So this is what is about the wrangling process, guys. Okay. Now, simple. Now, exploration and filtering and conversion and merging will be used mostly it is used by secondary data collection only, because we don't know what is the form of the data is. But if you are doing primary data collection, you are collecting on your own. You are collecting. You know that what are the columns should be there, right? You will keep the same columns, right? You know what are the columns should be there. You will keep the same columns. And you want to keep it, you know what format of the data should be there, you will keep the same format only. You no need of exploring again, right? No need of exploring again. So what you will do, whatever the format you want it, you will keep the same format. And how many columns you want it, you will keep only those many columns, and no need of conversion and no need of merging, until and unless the primary data collection multiple people are doing. If I want to collect it, I will say that 2 people do this collection, 2 people do that collection. Then what happens when the 2 people are doing it, he will go through a wrangling process, and this team will go through a wrangling process. So I will get it how many files? 2 files. Again, 2 files will be again in the CSV file or something. I will ask them, do it in the CSV, and you also do it in the CSV, I will say it. So you both will be doing in the CSV. What I have to do? I have to do only merging over there. That's it. So the primary data collection maximum you will be doing is a merging of the data. But you know, no need of doing the exploring, because you are collecting the data based on my requirement, our requirement. So nothing extra you are going to collect it. Now, if you want to collect it, the monitoring of the employee, now you will not ask his father name, not ask his Aadhaar card, not ask his phone number, right? We know everything. Employee, we will ask him that, okay, what you are doing from 2 to 4 o'clock or 1 to 2 o'clock or 1 to 3 o'clock in the cafeteria. What is the 3 hours time or 2 hours time you are doing over there? That question may come up. Those details I will take it. I will not ask him what's your father will do, what's your mother name, what is your address, how you are traveling. We will not take all those things, right? That is unnecessary data. So whatever I wanted, I will take only that data. But the major disadvantage on this one is it is a time-taking process. It is 100% genuine. No doubt about that. This data is 100% genuine. The major disadvantage with primary data collection is it is a time-taking, time-consuming process. And if you don't have the time constraints, if you don't have the budget constraints, then this would be the, now it's a costly affair. It's very costly because if 100 people are there, people just every time you can't do it all the 100 people monitoring, right? One time 2 people or 3 people. So every day you will be doing it for that. So it is a time-taking process. And when it is time-taking process, the company has to pay you the salary, right? It is a costly affair. It is really a costly process. So it is a costly process and time-consuming process. If you don't have the time constraints and if you don't have the budget constraints, then this would be the right one to go with. Okay, time constraints and budget constraints is not that. This would be the right one you would like to go with. Okay, so this is what is called as a primary data collection. And the advantage is that 100% you will get perfect, correct, and genuine data because you did the work. Okay, you will be getting an 100% perfect, genuine data. You will be getting it. Now, this is about the data wrangling. Now, this process is really very, very important. Okay, but usually we will never follow it. Now, just now I told you, I downloaded the data and I will start using it. Now, again, the question comes how you check the genuinity means, I have to believe it. That's it. There's no other. There's no other. Okay. The outcome of this wrangling process is what, guys? It is a perfect structured data. Again, the data level cleansing, I didn't do it. I didn't check it out the data, whether the data is correct or not. Because sometimes if I'm taking the student details over here in the Excel format or something like that, now some of the students, if I go through the data, some people by mistake, they must have entered that the marks of a student, usually marks will be calculated for 100 marks, right? They want to put it on like 65. And they by mistake they put on a 0 over there. Then what happens? 650 it will become. Is that the genuine? There is a problem is there in the data. So that level of error, data level of error will be rectified by using the cleansing process. The second one is called as cleansing process. This one we are going to rectify the data level error. Okay, data level. Inside the data, the structure will be correct, whatever I wanted. But inside the data, there may be an error. That error is rectified by using the cleansing process. Okay, so that we are going to do it tomorrow. So this is about the wrangling, guys. Any questions? Here, I will stop it.